Hello there, welcome back to the Jean Made channel. My name is Paula Jean. This is where I share about some of the stuff that I sew and make. Last fall, when my husband and I were in Montreal, my sister-in-law had presented me with a couple of items that she had thrifted. And I think she thrifted them separately, even though they were made out of the same fabric. So one was a basic men's short sleeve button-up shirt. The other one was a simple wrap skirt, and the shirt has a Nautica label inside of it, but the skirt doesn't have a label. I would assume, though, that because these are both made out of the same fabric, that the same company made these items. And when I saw them, my first thought was maybe what some of your first thoughts might be, and that is Sears catalog matching couple outfits. And then I thought, wait, are they supposed to be worn together? I think that's a big no, but I did see potential in both of these, so I accepted them and brought them home. The fabric is probably the most interesting part of these pieces because it is made to be reversible. It's 100% cotton and the base of it is white on both sides. And I'm assuming that this is a jacquard weave because it is made to be reversible, but I'm used to seeing jacquards that are basically one side is the inverse or the negative of the other side. This fabric, it's not very heavy, so it's not a doubled fabric. It's absolutely a single layer fabric, but the color on the other side is totally different. So on the shirt, the other side of the green is blue, and on the skirt, the other side of the green is fuchsia pink. But there is absolutely no show-through of one color to the other side on either of these. So I don't know how they did that, but kudos to them. Even though the fabric is reversible, the shirt was not made to be worn that way. It does have clean finished felled seams on the inside, but there's the label that's sewn into the yoke and there are no buttons on the other side, so they clearly only meant for it to be worn on the green side. They probably did another run that was the blue on the outside, but you could wear it on the inside out if you just removed the label and added some buttons on the inside of the placket, but it was not manufactured to be worn that way. The skirt, however, is made to be reversible, and it's also cut on the bias, which I find very curious because this is not a style of skirt that requires nor benefits from being cut on the bias, but here we are. It does have a really cool feature on the waistband and the ties though, because it's made from basically the same fabric, but it's just in a much smaller scale. And that is also cut on the bias. So that is the skirt. So I have shown you how unflattering both of these things are on me. Little side note here. I am aware of all the controversy surrounding the word flattering, with a lot of people claiming that it actually means making you look skinnier or look smaller and that it's all in the context of the male gaze. I don't buy that definition because in the dictionary, flattering as an adjective simply means pleasing or gratifying or enhancing someone's appearance. Nothing about size or shape, nothing about whose gaze it is in the context of, none of that. Does language evolve? Sure. But when you take a word that is actually quite innocuous and can be very lovely, it could mean a color that makes somebody's skin or eyes glow. It could mean a style that makes somebody feel confident and stand taller. When you take a word like that and you change it to mean something that is small and restrictive and demeaning and backhanded, that's not evolution, that is a hijacking. And I don't like letting hijackers win, so I am reclaiming the word flattering to simply mean enhancing or pleasing or gratifying. And you are welcome to disagree with me. You are also welcome to join me if that suits you. Now let me show you what I'm going to do to make these suit me and my style. So this is the shirt on Betty, and there's a bunch of jackhammering happening on my street, and hopefully I have protected the microphone so you are not hearing that. But if you are hearing it, my apologies. So what's happening with the shirt? It's going to remain a shirt, and I'm not going to make it reversible. I am most likely to wear it on the green side, but I do think that it would be a shame not to have some of the blue on the outside. So first thing I'm going to do is I tend to wear my collars open, and I really like that the blue shows on the inside here, like on the buttonhole side of the placket. So I'm going to take the button side of the placket, remove the buttons, unpick it a little bit from the collar band here, and I'm going to flip that over just so that it's the blue side showing, and then resew the buttons on, and that way I'll have blue on both sides of my V here of the neck opening. There's also a breast pocket here. I'm going to take that off and I'm going to flip that over to the blue side. I'm also hoping that I can extend the top hem a little bit because there's a tiny, tiny little stain here, and I would just like to be able to cover that if I can. For the sleeves, they're going to get quite a bit shorter, and I'm going to put an exposed hem facing on both of them. So I'll have some blue on the hem of both of the sleeves. And for the body and the hem, I want to base the fit on the Calais shirt pattern from Closet Core Patterns. It's a great shirt and shirt dress pattern, and I really love the cropped version of it because it's got this beautifully curved hemline with a very substantial hem facing. So I am hoping to crop this quite a bit and use that curved hem facing on this and have it exposed on the blue side. So it'll basically be a green and white shirt that's all kind of framed by the blue and white reverse of the fabric. So that's the plan for the shirt. And then for the skirt, I really want to take advantage of the fact that it's cut on the bias. So I've been wanting to make the foundations camisole from Charm Patterns. I've been a member of the Charm Patterns Patreon since my birthday last year, and the foundations pattern, which is made up of a full slip, a camisole, and a tap pant. It was the free Charm pattern that was available to patrons last year, but it is also available for purchase on the Charm website, which is not the case for most of the Patreon patterns, but it is with this one. So the bottom part of the slip and the camisole is cut on the bias. So that's what I want to use the skirt for. And then the 3-piece cups and the upper back are cut on the straight grain. And I've kind of loosely placed the pattern pieces. I think I do have enough for it. I am going to focus on having the fuchsia on the outside. The cups and the upper back are lined, and I don't have enough fabric left over to line the green side with green lining. I'm going to be using probably a white linen to line the cups in the upper back. You never know, it might look cute reversed, but I'm not going to focus on that right now. The straps on the camisole are also cut on the bias, so I want to use that smaller scale from the ties on the waistband and see if I can use those for the straps. I should be able to. So that is the plan. I have not made a muslin of either the camisole or the Calais shirt yet. I made some adjustments and did an FBA on the Calais shirt a few years ago, but never got around to making a muslin of it. So that is my next step. That's probably going to be tomorrow because I have to run out and go do my blood donation, which is something that I do regularly. And if you are a healthy person who is available to give blood, blood is always needed, and it's a great way to give back to community. So that's my little plug for the American Red Cross, I guess. This is not sponsored. I will see you back here when I'm making my muslins. Alrighty, muslin number 1, the Calais. So this is a quick and dirty muslin. I didn't do any interfacing anywhere. I didn't put the placket on the front. I just folded over the fronts because I know how a placket works and didn't need to do that for this muslin. And I did hardly any pressing. So we'll take that into consideration as we assess this. Positives first. I think the general fit is great. The length in the front is perfect. This is exactly where I wanted it to hit. This is a pair of high waist shorts that I have on, but it goes just below that. So even if I had something that was just sitting a little bit lower, this would be great. The curve is so nice. I'll pop in a little insert here because even though I sewed it very sloppily, I did do the experiment of trying that exposed facing for the outside, and really excited for how that's gonna look on the refashioned shirt. Very glad that I put in a bust dart as well. Closet Core Patterns only start their D cup range at a size 14. So if you wear a lower size than that, you might want to consider putting in a bust dart or doing some kind of a full bust adjustment. I had seen some people who were in that lower range who didn't do the bust dart, and it kind of stuck out a little tent-like, which that's a look if you like it. I prefer it to kind of be like straighter from the bust, and that's what this dart I feel is helping to do. The only thing I need to do is back off on it a bit. I went a little bit too far forward, so I'll probably back that off about an inch, and then that will be ideal. For the back, that's what the back looks like. And this is the intended fit, but returning viewers will know that I don't love a billowy back. I just don't like having all that fabric back there. So I think there is enough ease in this that I can probably take that box pleat out completely. And even though the high-low hemline is cute, I think on me this is going to look better or more my style if the whole thing is cropped at the same length. So I'm hoping that I can just basically use the curve and the facing from the front and take that around to the back and basically use the same facing piece for both the front and the back. That's how it works in my brain anyway. Kind of hard to get I'm trying to show you what I think that will look like. Hold on a second. Okay, so I just did a little experiment by stitching up that box pleat all the way to the hem, and then I just flipped up the bottom hem so that it's a little bit more even with the front. And I think this is the winning combo for me. I really love having the cropped length all the way around. I think once that curve is in there to take out that point, it's going to be really nice. And I still have plenty of ease around the shirt. So for a spring and summer shirt, I think this is going to be super cute. Very happy. Let's move on to muslin number 2. Well, I guess we're done here. I have to say that I am so thoroughly impressed with the Charm Patterns block. This is only the second charm pattern I have ever made. Lots more in the queue though. And the first one I made was the Joan top, and I had to make a tiny little adjustment for the length of the chest part here. This, I don't think I have to do anything. This is sewn just as sloppily as my first muslin, and I did no pressing. I made 0 adjustments, and like, look at that. Look at the back. I don't have to make any kind of a sway back adjustment. It's amazing. This comes with so many cup sizes for the upper bodice part. I think I chose the double D. I was between that and the F cup, but with going by the finished measurements, I chose to make the smaller one, which is right for me. I didn't make the straps for the muslin because I'm actually going to be making the straps a little bit wider on my finished little camisole. I think the finished ones on the pattern are around 3/8 of an inch, and I want to make them a little bit wider in that just so that they more properly cover a bra strap. But for a slip, this is fantastic. I went ahead and made the slip length because I have other plans for this pattern. So this is, I'm just super impressed. So I guess the only thing now is to start ripping stuff up. So I am taking a little bit of a strange approach to my hem facings for my sleeves, but it did end up working on the first side, so I thought I would share it with you. So this is basically the bottom that I've cut off. I've cut the sleeve off in a curve because I like how that looks on me better. And then the sleeve was still a bit too big, so I put in a box pleat here, and I've actually sewn it up further than I need to. That's going to get partially released later, but it holds everything in place for now. So my shortest point, oops, sorry, bumped the camera there. My shortest point is the side seams, which are 1.25 inches, and I want basically 1 inch of a hem band here. So I took what I had cut off the sleeve. This is longer because I've put in the box pleat here and not here. So I've just overlocked the edge and then pressed it over. That's going to be my finished edge here. And then I just have a 1/4 inch seam allowance here. So after I have this, then I can just take my ruler and measure 1.25 inches all along this piece, 1.25 inches from the finished edge. I'll finish doing that after. So then I will have a curve that matches the curve that I have here. And then I'm going to go ahead and sew up the side seams. So the hem facings right sides together, and sew that right side to wrong side on the sleeve and flip it over, and then stitch the hem facing in place, and then release that box pleat that I've temporarily stitched in down to the hem band. And then I just have this cute little pleat and a nice little 1 inch hem band.
I'm finishing the bottom hem facing by stitching a 3/4 inch strip of fusible knit interfacing, non-adhesive side to the right side with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, then snipping all along the curves and turning the interfacing over to the wrong side. The fusible side can now be pressed in place, and this gives me a much cleaner finish than if I tried to turn over a 1/4 inch hem all around those curves. For the camisole, the strategy is all about pattern placement. Do not let these boxes fool you. They are not square. They are ever so slightly rectangles. This doesn't affect the lower pieces so much, but I need to really pay attention when it comes to the cup pieces. I want to make sure that the pattern is mirrored on both of them, and this matching up process took forever. Here are the front pieces and the back. The center looks a little bit weird to me, but I think I can fix it with this. Yeah, that's better. I'm making the straps 5/8 of an inch wide, sewing them with a 1/4 inch seam allowance and pressing the seam open, and then turning them with a loop turner. The straps use bra sliders to make them adjustable, and I found these faded lilac ones in my stash that match well enough. I also want to make my straps convertible to a crossback, so I'm adding G-hooks as well. And I'm just finishing the lining by invisibly hand stitching it to the seam allowance. and I'm reusing the binding from the edge of the skirt to finish the hem.
Well, I don't know if these are still worthy of a Sears catalog, but they are definitely worthy of being in my wardrobe for the spring and summer. I feel like the shirt was kind of always meant to be some kind of garment like this. And surprisingly, I really like it worn both ways. I like the collar open, which is how I will probably most often wear it, but I also think it's really cute buttoned all the way up. And for the camisole, I am so thrilled with how this turned out. I don't know how they did it with this pattern. It is a pull over your head pattern. It has no closures, and it is sort of fitted. It's still meant to be worn over a bra, but I actually find that wearing it without a bra has a fair amount of support to it. And I'm very happy that I did the convertible straps in the back, because I do really like an X back, especially in the summer. And there's a type of support that that gives that I feel like when I wear it in that way, that I can probably get away with wearing it without a bra. So again, another bonus. And you know, can they be worn together? Sure, why not? Thank you so much for watching. As always, take great care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one.